What's good, Washington fans? Some more cuts here. This is probably the biggest surprise to me. AGG. I did not think that Ron would let go of his fourth round pick from last year, letting AGG go so quickly. But some people aren't surprised, like I said, once again with this move. But I think this probably was the biggest surprise. Peyton Barber. I did say on my 53-man roster yesterday. I had three running backs. Jared Patterson. It's Jared Patterson season, man. I'm telling you, Jared Patterson season. Jared Patterson, McKissick, and of course Antonio Gibson. So Peyton Barber, I agree with the move. I predicted the move. Also, Jared Patterson just brings more. He brings more pop. He brings more sizzle. He brings more out of the backfield. He can catch out the backfield. He can return kicks. He could possibly return punts too. He's more dynamic. He's better at finding the hole in between the tackles. He's just better than Peyton Barber. It is what it is. It's not really much to say. I mean, he's just better than Peyton Barber. Has better vision, faster. Peyton Barber got a little skinnier. He lost weight. And he did convert on a third down or a touchdown in the preseason. But at the same time, the Ravens game, he just had, 7 yards on one play and then a couple carries for negative yards. Didn't move the needle at all. And he did have those tough games where it was 17 carries for 29 yards. He did get the first down. He would convert on the fourth down. But I think Jared Patterson is capable of doing the same things. I think Antonio Gibson, if you give him more chances and more opportunities, I think he can do the same thing and convert on third down. Antonio Gibson, he has to play more to get better. He has to, I mean, that's with everybody. But the more games he plays, the more you see his vision get better and his just cutting and everything like that. Antonio Gibson, he does dance a little bit too much sometimes. So that's just the thing. Just put your head down. You got to pick a lane and go. Jared Patterson was really good at that. Picking a lane and going. And the cutback, the shiftiness in Jared Patterson, it showed in preseason. He did a really good job against the Bengals and against the Patriots. Now, the Ravens game, it was a rough game. The Ravens defense did a good job against him. And he did drop a couple passes, which is somewhat of a concern. But the Bengals game and the Patriots game, he did a really good job catching the ball out of the backfield. And also on that comeback route where Heineke was running around a little bit and found him for an 18-yard pass. That was beautiful for Jared Patterson where he laid out and caught the football. So I see the potential there in Jared Patterson. Ron Rivera sees it. For him to be undrafted, which Jared Patterson should not have been undrafted. He definitely should have been drafted. But you see the way they look at and they value running backs today. We got a undrafted still in Jared Patterson. And there's times where you can see he's just more, since he played running back, since he's been in high school at Pilate High School in Laurel, Maryland, in PG County. He's just been playing running back. And I think he has better vision than Antonio Gibson, to be honest, just because he's played running back more. He's more of a traditional running back than what Antonio Gibson is. So I'm excited to see what Jared Patterson can do, man. I'm excited to see what he can do in the season against some first-string guys and some real legitimate NFL players. I'm excited to see what he can do. I think he's going to do well. I'm not expecting 500 yards on the ground or anything like that, but I think he can get at least 300 to 400 yards as a backup running back and a couple of catches for like 100-something yards. I'm really excited to see what it's Jared Patterson season, I'm telling you. Now, let's get to AGG. Him being released was a surprise. Now, they still can keep 7 receivers. They can keep Dax Milne, DeAndre Carter. It could be Terry Curtis, Adam, Diami, Cam Sims, Dax, and DeAndre. They can still keep 7 if they want and they have just 2 guys who they can interchange at the punt return spot. Or they can keep DeAndre Carter and then waive, Dax Milne, and hope that he can land on the practice squad. I think there's a higher possibility for him to land on the practice squad. I think AGG will get picked up because he was a 4th-round pick just in 2020, just in the 2020 draft, which was last year. So I think he will get picked up. The teams definitely did want AGG. He was supposed to be the steal. I remember all the videos, the steal of the draft and all this kind of stuff. Mel Kiper loved him, which he was good coming out of college. Everybody's good coming out of college, but AGG was legit. I'm not going to lie. It was rough. The offseason did hurt him. Him being injured, hamstring injury on injury reserve throughout the season, barely played, only had 1 catch and a reverse. He's great at gymnastics and doing the Rubik's Cube, but it just didn't work out here in D.C. Now, I feel like they could have gave him another year to develop and see what he could do. But I'm not mad at Ron with this move at all, honestly. And I see some people talking about we need another big body receiver. I don't really agree with that. I think we're fine with the guys we got. And I think we're good with the little shifty guys we got. We got the Smurf crew with Terry, Adam, and Curtis. We got little shifty guys that can move. DeAndre Carter's not going to bring height either. So we got little shifty guys that can move. We got Cam Sims as that big body receiver. Now, this could affect the tight end spot too. If we only go 6 wide receivers, let's say Terry Curtis, Diami, Adam, Cam Sims, and Dax Milne or DeAndre Carter just keep 6, then we might actually keep 4 tight ends. So keep an eye on that throughout the day to see if we do keep Ricky Seals-Jones and Sammy Reyes as those last two tight ends. Now, AGG, wish him the best, but he's definitely going to get picked up. He's not going to be on the practice squad for sure. But once again, looking at Peyton Barber's numbers last year, he played in 16 games, so he was durable. 94 carries for 258 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2.7 yards per carry, which is pretty darn bad. But he have 4 catches for 12 yards, which is really not anything either. But he did get those tough yards. That's one thing I will give him, but he's easily replaceable. And I'm happy that Ron didn't keep 4. I'm happy that he kept 3 guys in Jarrett Patterson, Gibson, and McKissick. So I am happy with the move that Ron made. And honestly, I'm not really against the move with AGG. I'm really not. I'm not against that move at all. Even though he had 2 solid preseason games. Those games weren't great. They were okay. 3 catches for 38 yards. They were good games in the 2-point conversion against the Bengals, but they weren't like, oh my goodness, oh my gosh, it was so great. But he played well for the most part. He did improve from what he showed last year. So I wish AGG the best. Another team is definitely going to pick him up for sure. For sure, Kelvin Harmon still has not been picked up. But let's go over the names of guys who have been released so far before I head out. Let's see here. Gandy Golden, Peyton Barber, David Sharp has been released. Boomy Rotimi. Wes Martin has been released as well. Jimmy Moreland, of course, which we already know. Jeremy Reeves, David Steinmetz, the offensive tackle, Wayne Bradley King, Danny Johnson, the corner, and Jordan Kusnewski, the linebacker. Probably butchered his name, but what's his name? Wes Martin. He never really worked out. We drafted him in 2019. That 2019 draft, other than Terry and Montez, was just a little rough. Cole Holcomb as well was in that draft. But that draft, a lot of guys are gone from that draft. If you look at Dwayne Haskins as well, Dwayne Haskins is supposed to make the roster for the Pittsburgh Steelers, from what I'm hearing. So, but yeah, once again, we're almost there at 53. The deadline is at 4. Once again, Elite Channel members stream tonight, just recapping all the moves and talking about some surprise cuts and what we thought about the moves. So, all right, you guys, hail to the football team. I will be back with any major cuts. Peace.